economic success story, here it is. But let's remember the history to it. When Mitt Romney said the American auto industry's demise would be guaranteed if car makers received a government loan, he was banking on failure and he didn't believe. Well, the loans were a success. And now Romney's 2008 New York Times op-ed titled, "Let Detroit Go Bankrupt." I mean, it is dogging the candidate as he makes the presidential campaign stops in his birth state of Michigan. Romney was welcomed home by a Democratic National Committee which released a web ad highlighting his position on the auto loans.
Should the federal government bail out the auto industry? Mitt Romney, former Massachusetts governor and former Republican candidate for president, says absolutely not.
There's no question but that if you just write a check, that you're going to see these companies go out of business ultimately. Let Detroit go bankrupt.
Former Michigan Governor Jennifer Granholm also slammed Romney in a Politico op-ed today, saying that if Romney had his way, almost 1.5 million jobs would have been lost. Even Republicans got in on the action today, with conservative Congressman Thaddeus McCotter blasting Romney's campaign swing through the state. And members of the United Auto Workers Union protested outside a restaurant in Livonia, Michigan, where Romney was dining.
It's kind of hard when you write an op-ed piece saying, "Let Detroit go bankrupt," to come back and say, "Hey, I was really for this all along."
Joining me tonight is Bob King, president of the United Auto Workers Union. Bob, great to have you with us tonight. I want to play one more soundbite. Mitt Romney didn't back off his past statements. In fact, he doubled down on all of this. Here's what he had to say today.
I believe that bailouts are not the answer, but instead that the process of going through the normal bankruptcy reorganization where enterprises can shed excessive costs, reestablish their customer base and their economic foundation and emerge stronger is the right process, and would have been the right process here as well.
Bob, great to have you with us tonight. What's your response to that?
Well, thank God for President Obama, who believed in American workers, believed in American companies. He bet on us, and the American public won that bet that the president made.
What would have happened if the loan hadn't have been floated to the manufacturers?
Well, millions of jobs nationally would have been lost. The infrastructure and manufacturing would have collapsed. Ford, who got the loans, would have still been pulled down with everybody else, and so would have Toyota and Honda and the German automakers, because the supplier sector is integrated amongst all these companies. And it would have been a disaster. It would have led from the Great Recession really to a deep depression.
How wrong is Mitt Romney?
He's absolutely wrong. He's absolutely hypocritical. He benefited. His dad was in the industry. He benefited by the auto industry. Not to stand by Michigan workers and not to stand by American workers, to me, is outrageous and wrong.
What if we go into the campaign and there's not the loyalty to those who stood with the workers? Will there be the loyalty there by the workers to stand with those politicians who made this happen? Has the landscape changed?
Oh, I think our membership, and I think workers, union and non-union in the auto industry, the suppliers and dealerships, they know that their livelihood is there today because President Obama and the Democrats stood behind them and stood up for Main Street. The Republicans stood up for the banks and Wall Street. President Obama stood up for working people in Main Street.
Does the term bailout, does the word bailout bother you?
Yeah, it does, because it was a loan, and those loans are being repaid. I mean, the taxpayer, we are very thankful to the American taxpayer for helping us in General Motors and Chrysler, and really indirectly in Ford.
So do you think it was just political theater for those in Washington to oppose it? Well, and I'm asking that question, not mentioning the other party, but I mean, let's face it, they weren't for it.
That's right. Whether Senator Corker, Senator Shelby, they attacked American workers. They attacked the American companies. They wanted us to fail because they thought that would hurt President Obama.
So is this going to be really a helpful boost and a helpful story for President Obama trying to win re-election?
It's the best job story in America. 70,000 jobs and growing every day. We're recreating the auto industry because we're coming back. We're profitable. We're investing in new products, new plants. Plants that were shut down or said we're not going to reopen, like Sterling Heights Assembly Plant, is open today. We're going to be building the Chrysler 200 there. The transmission plants getting major investment. Engines and transmissions are out of this country, coming back into this country, being built by American workers, helping American communities.
And finally, correct this record. verify this, that the United Auto Workers took a financial haircut, that your employees took between a $7,000 and $30,000 reduction in pay to make this deal work. Is that right?
Absolutely did. And fight every day to make sure we're making the best quality product.
Bob King, President of the United Auto Workers, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.